Tantor Audio presents Gone, the complete series, by Deborah Bladon. Narrated by Tatiana Sokolov. Gone, Part 1, Chapter 1.
I'm looking for Lilly. I have her panties.
I hold my breath, hoping that when I turn around that the face attached to that voice isn't who I think it is. It's not that I regularly send men my panties in the mail. Who does that? Okay, I do. I have, but it was just this one time. I admit I regretted it instantly, though. As soon as he sent me a picture of himself, I wished I had thought it through more. He's hot in a boy-next-door kind of way. I'm looking for more of a hot in a man who can leave me screaming after taking control of my body kind of way. I'm Lilly. I say it quickly as I turn on my heel. You're Parker, aren't you? His deep blue eyes rake over my body, stopping on my name tag.
How do you know my name?
He's older than the picture he sent me. I'd guess by at least 7 or 8 years. He has a beard now. His hair is different, too. When did you cut your hair? It's not as curly as I thought it would be.
My hair?
He pulls his hand through his brown hair before he shakes his head slightly.
I asked you a question. How do you know my name?
You know how I know your name, or are you acting like this because you got caught? I lean over the counter and whisper the words softly. Did you leave your email open and your girlfriend saw that picture you sent me of your... I nod towards his crotch, which is covered by what looks like an expensive suit. He said he worked in the parts department of an automotive store. Every lie this guy told me online wasn't doing him any favors. If he's looking to hook up, he just needs to be himself.
Caught?
His handsome face twists into a scowl.
What kind of game are you playing?
I like to be tied up. I lick my lower lip. You know about that already. A ghost of a grin catches the corner of his mouth before it disappears in a flash.
You think you know me, Lilly?
I know that you like to do the tying up. I take in a deep breath. Maybe sending my panties to a stranger along with a picture of me nearly naked isn't the worst mistake I've ever made after all.
Who told you that?
His eyes move down my chest to rest on the top of my cleavage. He must be one of those types who drinks or smokes weed when he's trolling for pussy online. It makes sense, given how mysterious he's acting. I should just ask him if he wants to meet after I'm done with my shift. What are you doing later?
You're full of questions, aren't you?
He places the envelope I sent him on the counter. I pick it up and pull open the edge. There's nothing inside. You said you have my panties, Parker.
I do.
He reaches into the pocket of his suit jacket, pulling the edge of the white lace into view.
I told you I have them. I didn't say I was going to give them to you.
I take a step back. I wasn't expecting that. There's no return address on the envelope. How did you know where to find me? His hand dips back into the pocket. My eyes are glued to it. I watch as he slowly pulls a Polaroid picture from its depths.
This was my first clue.
I take the picture from his hand, even though I already know exactly what it looks like. I offered to send him a selfie online, but he insisted on an actual picture. I'm not one to judge another person's kink, so I dusted off my old Polaroid camera, opened up my barista uniform, pulled off my bra, and snapped away. My hair looks good in this. I tilt my head to the side.
Your hair looks good in that. The rest of you is breathtaking.
He rests his hand on the counter.
I like redheads.
Lucky me, I whisper, as I stare at his mouth. His lips are gorgeous. They may be the nicest lips I've ever seen on a man. I'd kill for those lips and those eyes. I get complimented on my green eyes every day, but his are a shade of blue I've never seen before. They're vibrant and deep. I can't pull my eyes from his face as I hear the bell chime on the door, signaling a customer's walked in. If I want to keep this job, I need to take care of that. I'm the only one here. I'll be right back. I run my hand over the back of his. Don't run away.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere, Lilly.
His voice is smooth and even. I don't take my eyes off of him as I walk back to the cash register. Welcome to Star Bistro. What can I get for you?
Lilly? You're Lilly, aren't you?
My eyes start up. I grip the side of the counter. It's him. He's younger, with the same curls he had in the picture he sent me. He's wearing a green t-shirt and jeans. He's the one. This is the guy I sent my panties and picture to. Who are you? I almost scream the question at him.
It's me, Parker. Don't tell me you don't recognize me.
If he's Parker, who the hell are you? I look right at the suit. He leans back against the counter, holds my nearly naked picture in the air, and points at the guy I've been emailing with for weeks.
I'm his worst nightmare. What the fuck?
The t-shirt-clad Parker's gaze darts back to me before it rests on the other man's face.
What's going on? Did you text me to come here because you found Lilly for me?
My eyes volley back and forth between the two men. The color of their eyes is the same. The shape of their noses is identical. Even the shade of their hair is a perfect match. Anyone who took a quick glance at them would be able to tell that they're related.
I ordered you down here because of this.
The suit gestures into the air with my picture still in his grasp.
Why did she send this to my place?
His place? I hadn't questioned the address I was given by the guy I was flirting with online. When I shoved the picture I'd taken, along with the panties I was wearing, into the envelope, I'd taken it a step further before I mailed it. I wrote a note, detailing how I'd blow him. After signing my first name to the bottom, I'd addressed the envelope with the only name I knew him by, Parker. I hadn't given it another thought, until now.
She couldn't send it to my apartment. The younger, curly-haired Parker slams his hand down on the counter. I'm trying to get my girlfriend Elsie back. What if she saw it? You can't use my condo for shit like this.
The man in the suit barks the words out.
I don't care who you fuck, Parker, but you're not doing it at my place. Calm down.
He shakes his head slightly, causing the bounty of curls that surround his face to bounce, making him look even more youthful than he said he was. He told me in an email that he was 24. But seeing him in person, I can't gauge how old he is.
It's just a picture.
The suit takes a strong step forward, my picture disappearing into a crumpled mess within his fist.
Calm down. You want me to calm down, you little piece of shit? I come to Boston for the weekend, and on the desk in my condo, there's an open envelope addressed to me, with a naked picture of a redhead I've never seen before. So what?
His mouth slides into a half-smile as his hand pulls at the neck of his t-shirt. I can see small beads of sweat on his forehead.
It's not a big deal. I had a woman with me.
There's no mistaking the disappointment edging the suit's words as he shoves my picture back into his pocket.
She found the envelope before I did. You fucked that up for me, Parker.
It's past 9 now, which means the bistro is officially closed. It also means I can start my very quick cleanup routine before I lock the front door and take off for the night to find a hole I can climb into where I can hang my head in shame all by myself. Judging by the look on the older Parker's face, I'd venture a guess that unless I step into the middle of this, I'm going to end up watching him pound the hell out of the guy I've been emailing. I've already had enough excitement for one night. Hey, Parkers, I interject. The bistro's closed. You can take this outside. They both turn to look at me, and I swear it's as if they just realized I'm still standing here. I should have paid more attention to that quiet voice in the back of my head that told me talking to guys online was a mistake. I should have also listened to my roommate, who warned me that sending a naked picture to a stranger would ruin my life.
Give me back the key to my apartment. The older, better-looking Parker's hand jumps out to grab the front of the other's t-shirt. Now!
The sharp bite of a cell phone's ring breaks the palpable tension in the space. The man in the suit shakes his head slightly before his hand dives into the inner pocket of his jacket, pulling his smartphone out.
Clive Parker,
he says calmly into the phone. Clive Parker? Did he actually say Clive Parker? No, please don't let him be Clive Parker. He's not Clive Parker, is he? I whisper across the counter to the curly-haired guy. "He didn't just say he was Clive Parker." His eyes scan my face as his brow furrows.
"He's Clive Parker. He's my asshole of a half-brother. I didn't know he was until a few months ago, when my mom told me who my real dad was and—"
"No," I interrupt, hoping that one word will change the reality of the situation. "He can't be Clive Parker."
"He's Clive Parker," he repeats. "I'm Parker Jarvis."
I don't care who he is. His name has no meaning to me. Clive Parker's name does. This is the man whose attention I've been trying to get since I got my college degree 3 months ago. I've camped outside his office in Manhattan for hours at a time, desperately hoping to get a meeting with him. I can't count the number of emails and letters I've sent him, filled with my ideas. I've waited impatiently for a response from him, but there's been nothing. Now, he's standing less than 5 feet away from me. The only problem is that he's seen my nude breasts, has my panties in his pocket, and has read my handwritten note explaining exactly how I like to suck cock. I run my hands over my forehead, trying in vain to get my brain to absorb what's happening. This can't be real.
"What can't be real, Lily?"
Parker's face is mere inches from mine now. He's leaning so far over the counter that I wouldn't be surprised if he hitched his knee over it to lunge at me.
"You need to forget about him. Clive is an ass."
Clive is the one and only man in this world who can give me the future that I want. Everything I've done for the past 4 years since I graduated from high school has been in preparation of my goal of working alongside him. He has been my inspiration. I glance up quickly, my eyes floating across his handsome face as he talks on his phone. How did I not recognize him when I first turned around 10 minutes ago? I've seen enough pictures of him online to know what he looks like. I even saw him briefly from a distance on the street outside his office months ago, but he was clean-shaven then. The short beard on his face now threw me off. The fact that he's even more gorgeous close-up in person is disarming, too. How could I have known that Clive Parker would waltz into the bistro with my naked picture in his pocket?
"Parker?"
Clive says his name just as he lowers the phone from his mouth.
"We're leaving." "I'm not going anywhere."
The playful lilt in Parker's voice is completely misplaced.
"I'm going to hang out with Lily."
No, I stammer, as I shake my head violently from side to side. "You're not hanging out with me. Not now, or ever." Clive's eyebrow darts up as its eyes shoot over my face.
"You're smarter than I thought you were."
That's not a compliment. At any other moment in my life, I'd be thrilled to hear those words coming from his mouth, but not now. Right now, he sees me as a sex-crazed girl who chases after men online. "Clive," I say his name before I realize how out of place it sounds. "Mr. Parker." His face softens slightly as a small smile tugs at the corner of his full lips.
"What is it, Lily?"
"I'm sorry about this." I offer the words not just as a peace offering. I need to do some major damage control if I hope to salvage the career I've long planned for. I had no idea when I sent that package that you'd see it. He takes a step towards the counter, scooping the envelope into his hand.
"It's Parker's fault, but—"
I cringe as I wait for the inevitable lecture that's about to be thrown directly at me. He's more than a decade older than me. He's cultured, sophisticated, and very accomplished. He dates models and actresses. I'm nothing but a silly young woman who works as a barista to him.
"Lily."
His large hand rests on the counter as he leans forward.
"How old are you?"
I pull in a deep breath before I answer in an even tone. I'm 22.
"You're too young."
His words are clipped and simple. Too young? I tilt my head back so I can look directly at his face.
"You're too young to see it now, but you're worth more than this."
His chin tips towards the envelope in his hand. I nod, unable to find any words that can refute what he just said. I'm humiliated. I'm devastated, and I'm considering running away to another country with the small savings I've accumulated.
I don't know how many men you're sending pictures of yourself to. He pauses briefly. I'd suggest you stop it, Lily. You never know where a picture like this will end up.
I stare in silence as he turns on his heel and walks out the door of the bistro with my picture still tucked in his pocket and my pride spattered all over the floor. Chapter 2.
If you ask me, you're making a big mistake.
I grin at my roommate. She's quietly watched me all morning as I've printed out my resume, booked a seat on the train to New York City this afternoon, and packed a few essentials into my overnight bag. Ronnie's been my often unwelcome voice of reason since I rented the extra bedroom in her apartment more than 2 years ago. You'd think by now that we'd call each other friends. That would be a stretch. I realized within days of moving in that she's notorious for waving her wand of judgment at me whenever she pleases. It's never been a secret that she views me as lacking in almost every substantial way. I've learned to ignore her castigating glances and embrace the helpful parts of her. She pushed me through my studies when I felt like giving up. She's become the personal Southern drill sergeant that I never knew I needed. Lily, are you listening to me? She plops herself down on the edge of my bed, skimming her hands over the skirt of the cream-colored dress she's wearing. I glance up briefly, my eyes rushing over her face. I heard you, Ronnie. You've gone down there at least a dozen times. She turns her attention to the unopened stack of mail I have sitting on the desk next to my bed. You don't actually expect anyone there will see you without an appointment, do you? I don't. I can't exactly blurt that out to Veronica Morell, the only person I know who has her entire life organized to the exact minute. I'm flying by the seat of my pants at this point, so I offer the one thing I can that will help ease her mind and halt all her incessant questions. I met the owner of the company last week. I watch as the furniture catalog she's mindlessly leafing through falls from her hands. We both stare in silence as it lands with a dull thud on the hardwood floor. You met Clive Parker. Yes, I shoot back. He came into the bistro last Friday night. Clive Parker was at Star Bistro? Her brows rise. Why didn't you tell me? The honest answer to that question is very simple. I'm still reeling from embarrassment over the entire encounter. We haven't had much of a chance to talk since then. She leans down to retrieve the catalog, thoughtlessly pulling on one of the pages. The sheer weight of it rips the corner and it tumbles once again to the ground. It's kind of a big deal that he was in the bistro, Lily. I know. I don't add anything to the simple retort. I crouch down, tugging the heavy book into my hands. I'm going to recycle this unless you want it. She shakes her head briefly. So you told him about your ideas? The question itself would be laughable if it weren't so disheartening. I'd been trying to secure a one-on-one meeting with the CEO of Cortec for years, and the moment that I do have him alone and all to myself, our entire conversation was focused on the semi-nude picture I sent him and my underwear. The lingering knowledge that he read and possibly reread my handwritten letter detailing how I like to suck cock only made her question about sharing my ideas that much more ironic. I didn't have a chance, but he does know my name now. That's a step in the right direction. I sense that she's staring right at me. Did he invite you to New York to meet with him? Technically, no, I answer truthfully. He actually picked up something of mine off the counter, and I'm going to get it back. What did he pick up? I pull the zipper on my overstuffed overnight bag closed. It's an envelope. It had his name on it. Was it one of those letters with your ideas about what you can do for him? She steps right into the pool of her own assumption. Do you think what you wrote inside caught his attention? The irony of the question isn't lost on me. I'm sure it did. So why are you going all the way to New York to get it back? I wasn't ready to show it to him yet. Yes, I'm referring to the picture of my breasts, but Ronnie is none the wiser. I need to explain it more to him, so he understands exactly what I can offer him. If she had any clue about what I'd shoved into that envelope, she'd realize all the hidden innuendo woven into my calculated responses to her questions. Fortunately, She's too focused on her impending date tonight to care what I'm doing or why I'm really going to New York. "You can't just walk in here and expect Mr. Parker to see you," she says rapidly before her index finger darts into the air. It's a silent command for me to be quiet. It's the third time in the past 10 minutes that she's used it on me. I lean forward on the steel counter, trying to divert her attention from her call. I had rehearsed what I wanted to say to Clive over and over again last night before I crawled into bed and closed my eyes in a small hotel room near Penn Station. The incessant noise from the room next to mine had kept me from finding sleep. I'm tired, I'm nervous, and I'm trying to ignore the fact that this may well be my last chance to get the dream job that I've been pining for most of my adult life. "Mr. Parker's assistant will call you on Tuesday at 10. She doesn't wait for a response from the person on the other end of the line before she taps a long, bright red fingernail on the phone's base. "I told you to go. Mr. Parker is not in the office today. I'll take your name and give the message to him." I've played that game for months. I've never had a call returned. Clive has never answered even one of the dozens of email messages I've sent him. "I saw Mr. Parker when he was in Boston last week. If you tell him Lilly is here, I think he'll see me." It's more wishful thinking than actual concrete belief. I'm gambling by throwing my name at her. I debated whether or not to do it at length last night. Considering how often Clive Parker is in the gossip pages with a new woman wrapped around his arm, he'd either mistake me for another Lilly, or he'd struggle to place the name. I'm betting my entire future on either of those. "I told you he's not here." She doesn't shift her eyes from the computer monitor in front of her. "He's out of the office at meetings today." She wants me to believe her because that's what's expected. I know better, though. 3 months ago, I had just gotten into a taxi that was pulling into traffic when I saw Clive exit the building. The receptionist then had given me the same song and dance routine. The only difference was that she, at least, tried to make eye contact with me. "As I said, I met with Mr. Parker when he was in Boston last week." I pause while I try to search for what I need to say next to get me into his office. I'm sure he would. "You saw Clive when he was in Boston?" The sound of a woman's voice behind me startles me. I turn to look at her. She's tall, brunette, slim and elegant. The smile on her lips radiates into her eyes. This is the first friendly face I've seen since I started my bi-monthly pilgrimage to New York City and the lobby of this building in Lower Manhattan. "I did." I take a step forward. "I'm Lilly Randall." "Lilly Randall." She repeats my name back as her hand darts into the air between us. "I know who you are, Lilly Randall." My hand stalls briefly before I clasp hers tightly. I run my free hand over my forehead, trying to chase away all the self-doubt. There's no way she can know about the envelope I sent Parker. It's not a possibility. "You do?" She nods slowly before her arms cross over her chest. "Come with me. We have a lot to talk about." Chapter 3. I don't know what I was thinking. She hands me a tall glass of water. "I should have introduced myself in the lobby. My name is Rowan Bell. I work closely with Clive." I take a small drink. In my haste to get down here by 9 o'clock sharp, I'd neglected my body's need for food and coffee. I feel parched, and the cool water is helping to chase that away. Unfortunately, it's doing nothing for my growing anxiety about how Rowan knows my name. "Thank you for this," I offer before I take another large swallow. She nods sharply as she lowers herself into the chair next to me in front of her desk. "So you saw Clive when he was in Boston?" I reach forward to place the glass on the desk before I realize that holding it will occupy my hands so that she won't notice how they're shaking. "We met briefly at the coffee shop I work at." Her eyes scan me from head to toe, taking in the plain navy heels I've paired with a pencil skirt of the same shade and a white blouse. I feel underdressed next to her. I'm not a designer label aficionado by any means, but there's no mistaking an expensive woman's suit when it's sitting across from me, with 2 very long, perfectly toned legs jutting down to a pair of Louboutin heels. "You're working at a coffee shop?" She leans back slightly in her chair, her back relaxing. You haven't pursued something else? She's not the first person to ask me that question. It's expected given my drive to get my degree. Software development is my passion, but settling for an entry-level job where I'm tucked into a cubicle to handle coding errors for the foreseeable future is about as appealing as making lattes. I want one job and one job only, and until I know with absolute certainty that I'm not getting it, I'm going to keep my eye on that prize. Crafting beverages and serving sandwiches for a living is only a means to an end. The end is within the walls of this office tower. I take another mouthful of the water before I look directly at her. My goal is to work in this organization. She smiles broadly. I like your determination, Lily. I heave a sigh that I tried to hold in. I don't want her to see how incredibly tangled up I am inside. I came here with the fleeting hope that I'd get into the office of the illustrious Clive Parker long enough to not only convince him that I'd be an invaluable asset to his business, but also to explain away the package I sent his half-brother. In my scattered thoughts this past week, the panties and Polaroid picture would be my excuse to see him. Once that happened, I'd dazzle him with all my ideas for growth in the app division of his company. It's a convoluted plan at best, but when you're working with the mess that I've made of my life, you can't be choosy. I'd really like to discuss some of the ideas I have for... I start before I abruptly stop. I'd like to discuss the possibility of a position here. I know I can bring a lot of knowledge and drive. She runs her index finger over her cheekbone before resting it against her lips. You don't have to convince me, Lily. I'm the one who has been reading all your emails and letters. I can see the potential you have. It's just that we're not hiring right now. I close my eyes as I hold tight to the almost empty glass that is resting between my palms and my lap. It's what I expected. Cortec has been hovering near the top of the list of the 50 best places to work in North America for the past 5 years. If a person is lucky enough to land a job here, they aren't going anywhere. I know logically that the chances of me getting hired are slim, but this is the only opportunity I'm going to get to sell myself to someone who has the authority to actually consider me for a position. I've had your file in my office for more than a year, Lily. She leans forward in her seat so she can tap the edge of my knee. I'll keep it handy. If something opens up, I'll give you a call. She's expecting me to get up, thank her for the hospitality, and exit her office with a smile at the promise of a position that will never materialize. Is there any chance I can see Mr. Parker? Clive. She throws me a hard smile. He's very busy, Lily. He doesn't handle things like this. I have absolutely nothing to lose at this point. I can follow the rules and graciously disappear into the crowds of people milling about the streets of Manhattan on this Monday morning. Or I can push my luck to its limits. It's not about this. I need to talk to him about his brother. Her breathing stalls, just as her brow furrows slightly. I can tell that she's trying to regain her composure. You know Parker? I know what Parker's penis looks like. Does that count? Yes, I offer, because it's much easier than trying to explain the sordid details of my unflattering online activity the past few weeks. When did you meet Parker? She runs her index finger over the lapel of her jacket. You two are close to the same age, aren't you? I've always believed that when a person tosses 2 questions at you back to back, that you can ignore the first one. It's a simple rule that's always served me well, including right at this moment. Parker is 2 years older than me. You never mentioned knowing him in any of your emails. Skepticism edges the words. I didn't want... I stammer. It's just that I didn't want any special consideration because of that. A faint smile pulls at the edges of her lips. I understand completely, she whispers as she leans forward. You want to make it on your own. Sure, that's it. I'm so far into this hole at this point that I'll grasp at anything. As I said, I'd like to talk to Mr. Parker about his brother. I repeat, to push the point. It's important. She nods before reaching towards her desk to pick up her smartphone. Clive's not in today. I can relay the message to him when I see him tomorrow. I sigh heavily. By this time tomorrow, I'll be back at the bistro making some ungrateful customer an overpriced, calorie-laden drink with a name that most people can't pronounce correctly. I know that once I walk out of this building,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?